Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome today's Profit in Your PJs. It's Tuesday morning. It is 12/12, December 12th, 2017, and we're a little bit less than 2 weeks away from Christmas. Hard to believe, and just a couple weeks away from the end of the year. And I'm super excited about today. We do this every single Tuesday, and we start the day by profiting in your PJs. And if you're new today for the first time, I know there was some new people jumping on. Welcome to our Zoom. This is a time when we all get together. We can learn some new tricks and new secrets about doing this business. And congratulations on getting on, all of you. I know we have people on the East Coast, West Coast. I saw some people tuning in from out of the country. That's always fun to see people from all over. So welcome today. Also, we try to keep this really tight to 30 minutes so that people that are on the West Coast that are on their way to work can get up and get out. We do record, and I do put these up on my YouTube channel on a camp. And if you subscribe, you'll get notifications when they come every single week when we put them up. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here. And we're going to start the day like we always do, which is with that beautiful image of profit in your PJs. And today is, again, Tuesday, December 12th. So with that said, I'm going to jump right in. I am going to do something a little bit different today. And I am going to be asking for some participation from you guys. So as we go along here, I'm going to have some questions. And I think sometimes the best way to learn is not from hearing me constantly telling you how I did it and what to do and what to say and certain verbiage, but really to learn from each other. There's a lot of experience on this Zoom. I saw at least 3 national marketing directors jump on here this morning. We've got all different ranks, people that have been in this business for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 6 years. And we have a lot of experience. So I'm going to be asking for some participation. And when we get to that point, just unmute your phone because everybody's muted here, or excuse me, unmute your computer because we're on Zoom, not on a phone. And then you can, help out with some of the questions that we have. So this is going to be kind of a fun day. I want to take 1 minute and I want to express incredible gratitude to these 5 people and the people that back up these 5 people. Without the vision of Jeff Olson, we wouldn't be where we are. And the day-to-day of what we do is extremely important, right? Keeping our head in the game, doing what we do, running this company. But the vision of what Jeff is always working on way out ahead of us is pretty amazing. And I actually have a call with him this morning. I'm really excited to hopefully get the curtain pulled back a little bit more. I like to find out what's happening, but I will tell you that I do know that where we are going is absolutely incredible. Never has there been a time such as this to be part of this incredible company. And I know that because I've had some recent conversations with Mark Smith, and he is the last person to ever future anything. He is very low key. He does not hype a lot. You'll hear some hype from some of the other corporate staff, but really never from him. And some of the things that he has said to me, we are going to look like a brand new company come July. And this is the time really to press in and really gather people for your team, keep your team close, love them through the holidays, and really begin to recruit. And I've been using the mantra of bringing in the freshman class of 2018 because I am running right alongside everyone else here and recruiting new people as well. So we all know the people on the screen. Renee Olson, she is such the heartbeat. I call her Mama Bear because she couldn't love us, care about us anymore. She's a person that's been out in the field. She knows what it's like to be out in the field, as does Jeff. And of course, Mark as well. So this, Deborah Hayes, can't say enough great things about this staff, but I am in awe of what the company is doing, and I am so grateful for everything they do for us, because without them we wouldn't have this amazing company. So a lot of gratitude for them. I would be remiss if I didn't take a quick moment, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of silence here while we all take a minute to think about and remember and pray for the people who are less fortunate during this holiday times. There's a lot of people really struggling financially, and really here in the U.S., we've had hurricanes, we've had disasters, we've had fires here in Southern California. Over 500 homes have been lost, and there are a lot of people, while we're considering gratitude, that we do need to consider not only how grateful we are for what we have, but for the less fortunate. And I really want to take just a couple of minutes and take some silence here while we think about and not only also honor all the firefighters and the first responders to some of these disasters. So I'm just going to take a minute in silence. Okay, so going to move forward here. So we have been all hearing this announcement now, double trip volume. We are absolutely running like crazy people out there. I'm watching the numbers and I'm just astounded at how many people on this team have earned this trip to Cancun. And honestly, you guys, if you think you can, you can. And I'm here to tell you, you can. This is a time when you really only need half of the volume you think that you need, because we get these double points now. So press into this, guys, and really go. If you think you can't, you're right, you can't. So this, anybody on here can get this. If you think about it, it would be if you personally sponsored 6 people into this business at $1,000 a piece, you would have the trip. So think about that for a second. It's not as big as you think it is, right? And that doesn't account for the customers, and that wouldn't account for anything that the new people that you brought in to the business. So it would only be 6 people. So even somebody that started today really theoretically could do this. So it's not as big as you think. If you need help, please ask, because we're here for that. We want to help you. We want to know who's running. And if you want it, we want it more for you than you could even imagine. Quick announcements. We have lots going on. Thank you, Annie Schwartz, for this screen. You had done such a great job. I added a little something there at the bottom. We have lots to consider, not to overwhelm you, but today is our corporate update call. That's every Tuesday. And of course, most of you on here already know, because as leaders and entrepreneurs that are running your own business, you are plugging into these things, right? So we know we've got our Spotlight 18 coming up in February. I'm sorry, Spotlight coming up. That's the furthest event out. Get yourself registered. If you register, your team will register. That is out in July. And then moving forwards from them, we've got our Epic in February. I heard that the rooms are almost sold out. So if you want to go, or if you're planning to go, which I'm sure all of you are as leaders, you definitely want to get tickets to that. We need help for that, and that's why you're seeing that little spot on the bottom left there. Volunteers are needed for the Epic Bash, and of course, attending our market parties and regionals. We do have a market party here tonight in Southern California in Irvine, and I know you as leaders know where your local market parties are as well. So attend all of the events, really plug in. Tonight's Nerium University is very much a holiday Nerium U, so definitely want to be part of that. So thanks to everybody who heads these things up, who's out there in the front leading and providing the way for all of us to plug into these events. Okay, we are continuing our 7-part series on the skills needed to be a successful entrepreneur in your Nerium business, in your network marketing business. The first week we talked about finding prospects, and if you haven't seen the first or second week, go back to the YouTube channel. You can grab these. They're quick 30 minutes and get up to speed with the rest of us who have been watching. And we talked about in week 1 really finding prospects, right? And it starts with using our own resources. And so our own resources are our databases, our Gmail, our contact list on our phone. We talked about social media, right? We talked about Facebook and how to build on Facebook, and really some of the 5 non-negotiables on Facebook, the things, the to-dos every single day on Facebook if you want to build your following, you want to build your brand. Instagram, we talked a lot about that and how to find people through Instagram and build new relationships. And we talked about how important it is to remember that this is a relationship business, right? People buy from people they like. People join teams with people they trust. And this very much is about building relationships. And it happens over time. We talked a lot about that in finding prospects. You can't invite people to take a look at your information if you don't know maybe why they would want to look at it, right? And forming is very important as well. And so let's see, somebody's not muted. Let me see if I can go here and get everybody muted out. There we go. So, so in continuing on just the recap, we then talked about inviting, right? And how the posture and the belief in what you're doing is so important when you invite someone to take a look at what you're doing. And that inviting, forming people to get a bridge, finding out about their family, occupation, recreation, the money, or what might motivate them to either want to look better, right? That's an easy one. Or to want to live better and take a look at the opportunity. We also talked a lot about building relationships first. We had George Turner on here last week, talked about what he's been doing on some of the examples of how he's been working and some of the people that he's been talking to, which really leads us up today to presenting. And I think that one of the most important things in getting better at this business or anything in life is self-awareness. Knowing where you are in these things. And we actually started this entire thing with rating yourself on each one of these categories, 1 to 10, right? Rate yourself. How are you at finding prospects? 1 being, I'm not that great at it. I really need help. I'm going to go back and watch that YouTube video again. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to get some ideas. I'm going to brainstorm. I'm going to grab a workout partner. I'm going to really work at finding prospects and see how other people do it, right? Inviting prospects, the same thing, you know, rating yourself and rating yourself really on all of these. And today we're going to rate ourselves on the art of presenting, okay? Because to get good at this, you have to become a good presenter. So grab your pen and paper, and I want everybody to take a minute and rate yourself on these things, okay? So number 1, I can name all the tools available to me. So rate yourself. I can name all the tools available to me. So how good are you at that? 1, I'm just learning, all the way up to 10. Number 2, I am good at sharing pictures. I remember every time that I am working with someone, presenting to somebody, because really presenting starts this simple. Presenting may be, to you, feel very, very big. It may feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get on stage. I'm never going to train. I'm not going to present. That just freaks me out. That's how I felt when I first got started here. But you might be a person, you know, who isn't really realizing that presenting and the presentation really starts with the pictures. So I'm good at sharing pictures. Are you good at that? Right? My pictures are organized, right? How do you have your pictures organized? Can you go to your photos and can you find pictures that you want to share very easily? Maybe of, you know, some thighs and some cellulite, some before and after pictures, right? Are you good at showing eye pictures? Do you know right where they are? Could you put your fingers on them immediately? Do you maybe have some different ethnicities? Do you have both genders? Where are they? Are they easy to find? I am proficient at Go Prospect. Number 4, rate yourself there, 1 to 10. I'm really, really good. I got the thing down. I use it every day. I'm a whiz. I probably could train on it. That would be a 10. And then, of course, rate yourself in between. This is a good one, 5. I use the tools more than I talk. Number 5. How are you at that? Rate yourself there. And so, how about number 6? I move easily from talking to a tool. You can do that with ease. You can pique a little bit of interest and you move quickly to a tool. You know which tool to pull out, you know when to pull it out, you know what to do with that tool, right? So there's a little more to that, you know, what do you know what to do with the tool? You know, you've got it, you know what the tools are, but do you know what to do with it? Number 7, I'm comfortable presenting at an RRP. I'm good. I can get in front of the room. I can tell my story. I can give an elevator pitch. I can, I don't really like that word elevator pitch, but I'm good at that, right? I feel good about that. I can close the room. Closing is another topic we're going to talk about in the coming weeks, but I'm good at presenting at an RRP. How about number 8? I'm comfortable presenting at a market party. Okay, some of you on this Zoom do present at market parties, and some of you don't, and many of you know my story. You know, I was absolutely freaked out. I couldn't imagine ever standing in front of a room and presenting some slides, presenting that PowerPoint. I had a lot of fear of doing that. So are you comfortable presenting at a market party, and do you want to, right? That's another thing to ask yourself, because the self-awareness is really important. If you don't know where you are, you won't get good at this. And so I want to stop the screen share here just for a second, and I want to go out and I want to ask some of the people on here to kind of help out with this part. So let me pull my screen back up here so I can see all of you guys. Okay, stop the share. There we go. So, gang, I have a question. So, I know that we talked about number 1, naming tools. We're going to go through these real quickly. So, we're talking about naming tools. So, if you could, I know there's a lot of people on here. If you could unmute your phone, and just anyone randomly, if you want to unmute your phone and call out a tool. Everyone else, I want you to take notes in case you don't have a list of the tools that are out there. So let's go ahead. I'm not sure how this is going to work because I haven't done it before, but let's see. Somebody unmute your phone and give me a tool.
Magazines.
Magazines, I heard. Let's write that down. Okay, mute yourself back up again. Go ahead.
Three-way calls.
Three-way calls is a tool, somewhat of a tool, right? You're using someone else to help you. Yes. Write that one down. Okay, who else?
Videos.
Videos, I heard. Great job. Yeah. Okay, who else?
Product.
Eye serum samples.
Eye serum samples, the products. Absolutely. Great tools. What else?
Nerium Now.
Nerium Now. Absolutely. There's some great tools in there as well. Who else?
Personal pictures.
Personal pictures, photos. They're probably the number 1 use of tools. That's the number 1 thing. It's the number 1 thing I use. Who else?
Events.
Events. Events are great tools. Definitely. What else?
Social media.
Social media is a great tool, right? How about the tools that Nerium provides us to do our business? So Nerium provides our videos, right? Lots of them. Nerium provides also in GoProspect PDFs of different things, different topics, right, that we could post up. We also have magazines. I think someone already said that. Tools that Nerium provides. Nerium provides a lot, and many of you know this over the summer I was at.
Testimonials.
Testimonials. That's another great tool. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. The products are great tools, right? Because we can use them as a third party. So how about pictures organized? So I'm going to ask, I know I saw her on here earlier. I think Karen DeSantis is on here. But I want to ask Karen, like, for example, Karen, because you have a lot of expertise in doing this business, unmute yourself for a second and maybe share how you organize your pictures on your phone so that they're at your fingertips.
Good morning. Yeah, I actually am looking at them right now as you're sharing. I have them in files. so that whatever the concern is for that prospect I'm speaking to, I can go directly to. So let me give you an example. I have files under texture. I have the firm. I have discoloration. I have clarity. I have male before and afters. I have eyes. I have new before and afters. And that's it. So when somebody says, oh my gosh, can that fix this area? I'm like, I don't know. Let me just show you some of the things, you know, some of my friends and family that has helped, and I go directly to that file and I'm prepared for, so they could actually see, so I don't have to go flipping through all of the hundreds and thousands of pictures that we've collected.
Yeah, exactly. And that's awesome, Karen. That's a great way to do it. And you notice that she knew right away, you know, what she had there, and they were organized in a way that she could grab a specific picture. So if your pictures aren't organized, you know, you might want to put them in files. So, you know, I'm just going to add to that. I actually have different ethnicities with, you know, I might have some Asian before and after pictures, some darker skin before and after pictures. I love, Karen, that you have men in a separate database, because sometimes you're just talking to men and it's great to have your fingers right there on one. I know Teresa Walbrink is really good too with filing, and I know she's got a way that she files like information. I think it's around RRPs. Are you there? I can't see you on here. I got to change my screen to find it.
So what I do is
Morning, Teresa.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I do exactly what Karen does. And I've even got one, you guys, for tattoos, because I've dealt with a lot of people that have tats. And so that's another file that you might want to have. But I make sure that I've got one particular file, and it's all in your photos, you guys, and that I keep for RRPs. And I might have no more than 10 or 12 pictures in there. And just like Anna said, I've got every ethnicity that I can. I'm not pronouncing that. Sorry, it's early this morning for me. I'm not sure why. But that, and then male and female, I've got some of the firm. I've got some, you know, of just whatever, but I've got one file that I always keep, so that when I'm going to an RRP, I'm completely prepared and I don't have to try and go, okay, now what file am I going to go and show all the different pictures?
Yeah, that's really important, because a lot of times we show up, and a lot of this is intentionality. That's awesome, Teresa. Intentionality, right? Are you intentional about your RRP when you get there? Do you know what you're doing? Do you have things organized, right? Because if you organize your files once, you don't have to keep doing it. And so really good to be, these I think are little things that we don't think about, especially if you're new, you're not thinking about any of this yet. And we're happy to help you organize some of this stuff. I love this one, right? I'm proficient at Go Prospect. Go Prospect is an amazing tool. We have, gosh, there's a tutorial there. We've done videos on it. I know Annie's done done training on it on her Zoom in the morning. I know corporate has done training on it. There's just a ton of training around Go Prospect, and it really is the ultimate database. You could have all of your prospects in there, and you could actually be going through them, and daily you could go back there and figure out, you know, based on the way Go Prospect works, it will actually remind you who you need to follow up with every single day. And it really is the ultimate package for working this business, working with your prospects. So, you know, I would encourage you just to, if you don't know a lot about Go Prospect, do not spend activity hours worrying about Go Prospect, but after hours, go in there, nose around, and the best way to learn is just to fiddle around with it and learn that way. Definitely watch the tutorial, because that's a good way too. So comfortable presenting at an RRP. Now this one, not everybody is comfortable, but a great way to get comfortable is to, when you have somebody coming, like you have an expert, you have somebody in your upline or crossline coming to do an RRP with you or for you for the first time, get your feet wet. Get your feet wet a little bit by, of course, starting out, if it's your group of people and it's your living room, start out, of course, by welcoming everybody, thanking everybody for coming, and introducing your leader, speaker, somebody that's going to maybe head up your RRP if it's in person. And then maybe take a segment of it. Maybe you want to step up and show some of the before and after pictures. Take just a little piece of it until you get comfortable, because in order to grow a large organization, you have to be able to present. You do. And you want to, guys, you want to get in front of the room, and you want to get better and better at this. I have walked through so much fear in this business, and I can tell you that all of your dreams, everything in your life that you have ever wanted, everything that you could possibly imagine, lies about a quarter of an inch outside of your comfort zone. So get uncomfortable and learn to get better at this. Presenting at a market party, I know the very first time that I did it, I was, I don't know if some of you even remember it, but I was with my sponsor, and he and I actually did it together. And partway through, I was so nervous I couldn't take it anymore, and I actually sat down as though it was my time to sit down, but I wasn't ready to sit down. I was supposed to stay up there for the whole presentation, but I was so nervous I couldn't take it. I just had to literally sit down. So I want you to know that, you know, you can get good at this no matter how nervous you are, and you just get better and better and better. And the thing that I know is, the more you do it and the more consistently you do anything in the business, the better that you get. So in presenting, one of the biggest tips that I can say is use the tools more than you're talking. Use the tools to pique interest, and then, or use your voice to pique interest and then move to a tool, so that the person is not looking at you. They're looking at something else, right? You also want them to be thinking, man, I can do this. All she's doing is showing me pictures. You know, all he's doing is handing me a magazine. All they're doing is inviting me on. We talked a lot about inviting last week, right? Because, you know, if you're working on getting good at inviting, and trust me when I tell you, working at it over and over and over again, 5.5 years and almost 6 years into this business, I am still working on the craft of inviting people, right? But once you invite them to look at some information, you've got to be organized and know what information to help them to look at. So I'm going to go back and share my screen again here and just move quickly to the next, a couple things that I want to talk about here. And this next one is this, and I love this slide. It's, you know, can I do this, right? In presenting, this is it. This is all that we do. I was mentioning that I was at Eric Worre this last summer, and Eric Worre's events, his GoPro event, is 9,000 to 10,000 people, just to give you an idea. You know, it's the size of our national conference. It's huge. And this workshop that I went to was for 6- and 7-figure income earners, and there were only 80. So there were 80 of the top income earners in network marketing in this room, and what was wild to me was there was a whole segment done on how to create tools. And here we are sitting at Nerium with these amazing, incredible tools, you know, flyers, videos, all the things that we have. And I love this screen, because when you take somebody from imagining that they can do these things, you take them into believing they can do it. Because when someone says, you know, is it simple, and can I do it, and do I want to do it, and am I willing to do these things to my friends, right? They join us. Can I do this? Can I hand someone the product to try? All of us can do that. Can we share a before and after picture? Absolutely. Can we share a video? Yes. How about a video on social media? Absolutely. Can we hand somebody a magazine? Yes. We can do these things. And that's why I love, you know, the picture for you guys. If you don't realize how much of a gift this company is and how many things we have. My last company didn't have anything. I spent hours and hours and hours creating things, creating presentations, all of it. We have it. So we have these things. Super important when we're talking, my screen didn't get large there, did it? Super important when we're talking about these things that we have is really understanding who the person is that we talk to, that we're talking to. And if you haven't heard this, this is a 30-minute call that I did on the colors, and I go through all of it, like how to identify a particular personality type. These are the 4 personality types, how to identify them, how to to relate to them, how to close them, how to inspire them, how to teach them. And I give examples, and I do it really quickly. I think the call's only about 25 minutes or so, but I go through it really quickly. And I've had a couple of people say, oh my gosh, you had me laughing, because I could identify myself and my husband and my friends really easily. But the art of learning to invite people, the art of learning to present to people, really begins with the art of knowing the different personality types, identifying who you are, and identifying how you speak to them. For example, a person that's very analytical, when you present to them, they are very much into the information. You cannot convince them. It doesn't matter if you're having a party. It doesn't matter if it's a lot of fun. They could care less. They're analytical. They need information. And so this skill of understanding what personality types people are is very, very important in the presenting process, because that will help you discern which tool to use to present to them, right? So it may just be a whole document on the ingredients, because they're very analytical. They need the ingredients, right? So you're never going to convince them by showing them a video of people partying in Cancun, right? Because they want information. So hopefully this will help you. If you haven't heard this, it's a good one. Please feel free to share as well. And then just sort of in wrapping up today, I want to thank the people for popping on here, Teresa and Karen. I know I didn't tell you I was going to call on you guys, and thanks for everybody who called out a tool. We're going to have a lot more participation in the coming weeks. So I love it. I love that we get a chance to learn from each other. But you guys remember that this is a process. This business takes time. It takes time to get good at this. And any entrepreneur takes this 1, 3, 5, 7. If you ever are frustrated about where you are in your business, just recite these numbers to yourself. 1, 3, 5, 7. It takes a year to become competent. It really does. And it takes 3 years to create a significant part-time income. Okay, we all come here with something else on our plates, right? Whether it's family, a job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, juggling all kinds of things in life. We all have things, and it takes time in this part-time venture that will sometime become your full-time, gig, your ticket out of the jungle, right? 5 years to become a significant earner, and 7 years to become world-class. How many of you want to become world-class at what we do here? I'm telling you, it will take time. It does take energy. It does take continuing to press in every single week to these trainings and whatever trainings you can get. And it definitely takes a workout partner. It takes somebody upline, crossline, sideline. You have to definitely get help here, because the kiss of death, I always say here, is working alone. So don't work alone. This is our time to go out there, get the double trip volume, and really run through the end of the month, guys. So in closing, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you so much during this holiday season. Take a minute, tell somebody today how much you love them. Raise your energy, affect the people around you. Make your energy so contagious that people want to know what you're doing. They want to know more about you. And that will start the whole entire process in all that you do, in everywhere you go, and all that you think. Enjoy the day, show up, and be fabulous. We'll see you next week. Bring a friend. We're trying to max out this Zoom. I want to get the Zoom over 100 participants, so I have to buy another 100 seats. So make it a great day, everybody.
You too, Anna.
Bye, Anna. Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you, Anna. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Anna.
You too.
Great day, everyone.